So you want to raise some fluffy butts. Well, you come to the right place. So I want to give you all the basic knowledge that you're going to need to raise your first chickens. But for now, I've got to get mine fed. We've been raising chickens and poultry off and on since 2003. So that means we've made all the mistakes that people make, and then some. We've learned a lot, mostly from our mistakes, and I think we're in a pretty good place to give you some tips and tricks, what we've learned over the last 20 or so years raising chickens. Chick, 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 chick. Yeah, chick, 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 chick. We'll get to this point later, but for now, we have to start at the beginning. So you want to raise some chickens, but you don't know where to start. You need to determine what is your goal with raising chickens. Do you want to raise chickens for just a few eggs for the family? Maybe you want to raise chickens for meat, to provide meat for your family. Maybe you want a little bit of both. You want eggs and meat, and you're looking for something along there. Maybe you want to get into purebred show poultry. So you need to determine what you want to do, because so if you just go down to your local farm supply store, you're going to be enamored by all those cute little baby chicks, and if you're not careful, it's really easy to come home with a lot of those cute little devils. If you're just looking for some chickens to have around your yard, to have eggs for the family, I would really recommend something like a sex link. A sex link is a chicken that their sex can be identified by the feather coloring when they're hatched. So you can tell pretty much immediately if it's a female or a male chicken. Breeds like the red sex link, black sex link, and there's all kinds of hybrids, red stars, and I mean, there's the golden comets. The options are endless. They have a pretty good temperament. They're a good place to start if you're looking for just having some eggs. If maybe at some point you think you might want to switch over into the raising some for eggs, but also keeping some back for meat, then consider a heritage dual purpose breed, something like a Rhode Island Red or Buff Orpington or something along those lines. Rhode Island Red is one of our favorite breeds. So then the next step is, where do you buy the chicks? The most economical, at least from the start, way to raise chickens is to buy them as chicks. Now, there's a couple of ways to do that. You can find a local farmer that has chicks for sale. They're more than likely going to be what's called straight run chicks. That means that you're going to get whatever you get. You're going to get a mixed bag of males and females. Then there is the mail order route. You can actually order chicks through the mail and get them through the mail through the United States Postal Service. And if you're looking for a specialty breed, that might be your best choice, because if you buy them through mail order, you can pick how many pullets you want and how many roosters you want. A pullet is a juvenile female, a juvenile hen. If you order a small amount through the mail order, you're going to pay a pretty high fee, a small order fee. Could be up to like $30. The most common way is to buy them from your local farm store. Now, I would recommend finding a local farm store, because you're probably going to get a lot better stock in than you would from some of the bigger national chains. But the national chains, they are getting better at how they raise their animals. Years ago, I heard a lot of horror stories. People would go and pay for pullets and would come home and have 8 or 10 roosters and 2 hens. So, but they have gotten a lot better. But be careful when you go. If you go and you buy them at the big box store, at the Tractor Supply, read that tag carefully, because a lot of them will say straight run. And if you order straight run, you're guaranteed to get a mixture. Now, you could get really lucky and get, let's say if you're buying 10 chickens, you can get really lucky and get 8 hens and 2 roosters. Or you can be really unlucky and get 8 roosters and 2 hens. You really want to look for the pullets, because that way you know that you're getting females that are going to lay eggs for you. You don't need a rooster to lay eggs. You do, however, need a rooster if you want to make baby chickens. If you want to incubate eggs and have those eggs hatch, you're going to need a rooster. Roosters are also great for protecting the herd. They will watch over your herd. If there's a predator or something that comes in, usually the rooster will go on the attack to try to remove that threat. They're good watchdogs. They're good watchdogs for your chickens, and I recommend getting a rooster, just one, because you don't want to have too many roosters. Too many roosters can stress your birds out and could pretty much, and if you have too many roosters, it's just going to wear your birds out. Their feathers are going to be missing from where the rooster mounts them, and it's just a bad deal. So you can also buy what are called ready to lay pullets, and what that means is that is a hen that is a young hen that is just getting ready to start laying or has just started laying eggs. Now you're going to pay a premium for these birds, but you're not going to have to feed them for 5 to 6 months to get them up to the point to where they're laying eggs. And yes, if you're wanting eggs and you buy chicks, it's going to be 5 to 6 months before you see the first egg. So it's a long-term investment. So yes, you may pay yes, you may pay $50 or $75 or $100 for a ready to lay pullet, but you will have saved the time and the feed costs in raising that chicken to get to that point. Since most of you are going to be buying your chickens as chicks, you're going to need a brooder setup, and that's what I've got right here behind me. We raise a lot of chicks in Rubbermaid tubs, big 30-gallon Rubbermaid tubs. This is an actual brooder that we buy. It will brood a lot of chicks. Let me get you a closer look at it. So you can purchase this brooder from Tractor Supply, also from Amazon. I think there's actually a link on our page, and you can just see it's just a box that comes apart and fits together and holds together. We have, I had lost count how many chicks have been brooded in this brooder. Well over 100, probably closer to 200. But it's just a simple box with a floor, and of course you would put your bedding in the bottom. Of course you put your bedding in the bottom of this, but when you get done with it, this folds up flat. It doesn't fold up, but this breaks down flat and you can store it away. Now if you were just going to raise 5 or 6 chickens, or maybe even up to 10 chickens, you don't need to go out and buy a specialized brooder box like this. You can get by with just a Rubbermaid tub, one that you've probably already got lying around your house. So your brooder is where your chicks are going to live their first 3 to 4 weeks of age. Consider it a chick nursery. That's basically what it is. So there's a few other things that you're going to need in your brooder. First thing you're going to need, I'll put these in the same category because they're pretty much the same thing. A chick drinker or waterer and a chick feeder. Now these are just bases, and you buy the base separate. Now you can put a mason jar on top of this, or you can buy the little plastic bottles for a couple extra bucks, and you can use that. But you're going to need one drinker, and this just is very shallow, so the chicks cannot get in there and drown. Because if you use a big chicken water, you may have some chicks that drown in that deep puddle of water. Chickens are not very smart. Chicks especially are not very smart. They can drown in that little bit of water. So you might want to make sure that you use a specialized chick water if you're doing that. The next thing you're going to need is a heat source. Your chicks are going to need heat at least for the first 3 weeks until they start to get their true feathers. And even in the summer, you're going to need to keep your chicks in a brooder. The first week of life, you want to keep the brooder at about 95 degrees. And then as each week progresses, you lower that temperature 5 degrees each week until the 3rd or 4th week, when they're feathered out, they can survive without artificial heat. Now there's a couple of different ways to heat a brooder. The most common way, and I don't have any now because they're so dangerous, the most common way is a heat bulb. If you do not have them secured, then they can catch fire. We have had several near misses. We had a near miss with an outdoor brooder that the heat lamp fixture, the clamp on heat lamp fixture, came loose and went down into the bedding and caused the bedding to smolder. Luckily it didn't catch fire, but there are fires that happen every year. People have barns burned down, sheds burned down, all from using heat bulbs. So let me encourage you, go cheap on everything else, but do not go cheap on your heat source. This is what I recommend. This dirty thing here is our Producer's Pride brooder heater. This actually goes in the brooder like this, And the chicks actually, if I could do this without breaking a leg, the chicks will gather underneath this, so they can huddle under this, and you can adjust the legs for the height of the chicks, and as they get older you can raise it up to control the temperature a little better. This thing is probably the most expensive part of your brooder setup. I think when I bought this it was around $50, or probably a little bit more than it now, but I highly recommend. You can cheap out on everything else. Cheap out on your brooder, cheap out on everything else. Don't cheap out on this. Don't buy a heat lamp. They're dangerous. So if you've got to use a heat bulb, make sure that it is very well secured. Don't trust that little spring clamp. Make sure you screw it to something where there's no way that it can fall down and start a fire, because they start a lot of fires. Once your chickens get about 4 to 5 to 6 weeks old, they're ready to go out on their own. They're able to get out of the brooder and go into whatever type of setup you want to put them in. So let's talk about how to house them. Your chickens basically need 4 things to thrive. They need a lot of fresh water, they need a lot of good nutritious food, and they need shelter that keeps them warm and dry. You can have the tried and true coop and run situation where you have a small coop where the animals are able to go up, and then you can have a run where they're able to go out and to run around and scratch around and do all of their chickeny things. You can raise your chickens in a chicken tractor. A chicken tractor is just simply a movable coop that moves every day, and it spreads around the manure load, so you don't have manure building up in one place. If you're going to use the coop and run, then you're going to have to do something to deal with the manure. You can use the deep bedding system where you just continue to put bedding in there and then clean it out once a year. So our next evolution in this whole thing was this that you see behind you and around you. It is our Premier One poultry netting. It is just a very portable fence, electrified fence. It's very easily put up and taken down, moved from one area to the next with a mobile coop. We have our coop is built on a boat trailer. The chickens go into the coop in the evening, the door shuts. We have an automatic door, the door shuts, and then in the morning the door automatically opens and the chickens come out, and they're able to come in here and do all the chicken things that you want to do. If you see in the background, they're over here raking through all of this hay that used to be our compost pile. So now we've moved even to another stage in this whole thing. We're still letting our chickens out and letting them have access to grass. We do that every morning. We let them out, let them roam around, and then in the evening, the afternoon, evening, we will put them back into the run. And then during the winter time, they will stay in their run. This is working out really good for us. So the biggest expense of raising chickens is going to be what you're going to use to house them and to fence them. You can build a chicken tractor like we have done in the past, or you can buy a prefabricated chicken coop from Tractor Supply or Amazon or whatever the case may be. You're also going to need a good quality drinker. This is our favorite drinker. So you can take the lid off, fill this up with your garden hose, fill this up at your hydrant, and then carry it down to your chickens, and then you'll take the cap off and then screw it up here so you don't lose it. This is a great water. This is another one of the things that I say, buy once, cry once. This is a little bit expensive, but it will be your best friend. It will not fail when others do. We have tried every kind of water there is imaginable. We have tried the galvanized waters. They always rust. They always get bent. They're always impossible to open after they get rusted and bent up. We've used the cheaper plastic ones. They're impossible to fill up and to carry back. You really have to fill them in place where they are. You don't need a 5-gallon chicken water if you're only going to have a few chickens. We're just lazy and we only like to fill it up once a week. The next thing is a feeder. Now, you really don't have to have a feeder. You can sprinkle your chickens' food on the ground and they will be happy as larks to pick it up from the ground. Or you can buy one of the little plastic feeders. This is a feeder that I actually made. I call it a range feeder. It's simply made out of wood, bar across the top. This is for a handle, and it makes for a really good handle, but it also spins. And that keeps the chickens from perching on it, because chickens will perch anywhere and they will poop wherever they perch. So you don't want them perching on top of your feeder, pooping in it. They will do it, guaranteed. This is our kind of expensive reverse rollout nesting box that I thought was going to be the next greatest thing. And you can see there's nothing in there but old hay. There's no eggs. Why might you say there's no eggs? Let me show you. But our chickens like to lay their eggs way over there in the corner, where I have to go to the other little door and reach in and grab them out every day. Stupid chickens. Yes, rollout nesting boxes work great, but you do have to train your chickens to use them, and I didn't do that. You can use anything from a simple milk carton to a 5-gallon bucket to have for your chickens to lay eggs in. The milk cartons work really good. We use the milk cartons in conjunction with the tractors because they were easily movable as you move the tractor, and easy to keep clean. You just dump it out and fill it back up with fresh hay. That's really all you need to get started with chickens. If you're thinking about it, try it. I think you'll enjoy it. I like to come out here and just spend time with them, watching them peck and scratch through.